Hello friends, you probably recognize this intro and that's because I am reusing it. I had to break up this video in several because it got so long with all this meal prep. But here is the bean pie video, so just watch and enjoy. Thank you. Okay, we are ready to start with the pie crust, and I have a very big pie form, so that one needs 1.5 of the dough. And then maybe I should make, I wanted to make an extra pie dough, but I should make an extra for that big crust, or maybe not, but I'm just gonna get started. At least 1.5 for the big form, and then maybe a normal one. We'll see. So I put on my apron because I am guessing that I will be a little messy with the flour here. And I haven't looked up the recipe, but it's 3 deciliters of flour. This is just normal, regular, all-purpose flour. 3 is for 1. But since I'm making 1.5, putting 4.5, and then it's 125 grams of cold butter. So here you can see we have little lines for where it goes. So I'm gonna do 125, which is there, and then we need 62.5, which is, I'm gonna do this. So I need this much butter, this much, and I'm just cutting it into little pieces into the food processor, so it will be distributed more evenly than if I just put the whole block in here. Oh, I need to put salt in the dough. It will be very bland and boring if there is no salt in the dough. There, I have put it all together, and now I'm going to process this, and then we're going to pour in the little bit of water that's needed. It helps if it works. There, that looks good to me. Looks like this. And then it's 2 tablespoons of cold water. So that means 3 tablespoons. And for future references, 3 tablespoons equals half a deciliter. And there we have it, perfect dough. So I am the recipes always say that you should now put some plastic on top of this and let it rest in the fridge, and then roll it out and put it in your crust. Oh, I don't like extra steps, so I'm probably just gonna put this in the pie form right away, because I don't want to do that extra step. So I think I'm gonna do that, and then I'll make a second one. I also never bother to roll it out, even though it's probably faster. And you shouldn't handle the dough so much because the butter melts and blah blah blah. But I just do this. I just squeeze, like press it out. It may take a little bit, but then I don't have to dirty the rolling pin. It just takes a little bit. It has a good texture. I haven't played much with Play-Doh, but if I remember correctly, this dough, like when it's good, which it is today, feels like Play-Doh. So if you're unsure just of whether the dough is good, you can just feel the texture and feel like, is it like Play-Doh? Then it's probably good. We love the crust. Like, the crust is the best. It really is the best part of the pie. Like when you get a bite of the filling and the crust. This pie form is extraordinarily large. That's why I make the dough, the crust, times 1.5, because it would be too little crust for this pie if I just made one normal. And I don't really care if it's a little bit thicker here and there. We like the crust, so it will be good. It's a little thick here, but just flatten it out, move it to where there's not so much dough. And it's homemade, so it doesn't need to look like in a certain way. So I'm gonna pick this with the fork. I use this fork. This was to stir the pinto beans, but this other bean filling will be somewhat not the same spices, but it will have this savory taste, so it doesn't matter. Whatever flavor is on this fork can go in the pie. So I'm just picking the crust so it will not bubble up when I cook it. Now I'm going to put it in the fridge, and I'm going to let it sit there, and then I'm going to take it out and pre-cook the crust. But it just needs to be in the oven for like 10 minutes, so I can just do that when the filling is ready. On to make the second pie dough. And the blade is good to have in there. This, I'm just gonna flatten it out and put in some, there, my foil. And then I'll put that in a plastic bag. I'm just doing this flat shape so it will freeze faster, but most of all it will thaw faster than if it would be in another shape. So this one is going in the freezer, so I can use it for the next time I want to make a pie. Then I don't have to dirty the food processor. I just have the pie crust here, can roll it out, and all is well. Okay, so pie dough or pie crust is done, And I think I will make the bean filling for the pie now, and then we will see what we do. I'm gonna go ahead and make this in my big pot because it's just so much easier to stir it, and it makes a lot, and I'm gonna make a lot, and whatever we won't use I will freeze and can just put in the bean pie with the crust that I made before. So I'm just gonna go cook a big batch of the beans in my large pot. And we will start with chopping up some onions. I had a half here. And I'll see if this one is good or if it's angry. Just one layer that is a little bit angry. But I'm gonna go ahead and rinse this one. Turn this on. And I'm gonna saute the onions real good so that they will just melt in the filling. So I'm gonna try to take my time with this sauteing. Cut up this piece. Goodbye. This recipe is, I have never seen a bean pie anywhere. This is a recipe that my grandma made, and because my mom was a vegetarian for many years. My uncle has always been a vegetarian as far as I know. Also my father, like, we are just a lot of vegetarians in my family. So I have grown up eating vegetarian food a lot. And should I put this one as well? I really like onion, but I think I'm gonna hold back. So I'm just gonna do that one, and I'll start preparing the garlic. Anyways, my grandma has been making this recipe, and when we really, like, I've always eaten vegetarian food, but when I really became like a vegetarian for real, this pie is like a lifesaver. So much protein, so much beans. Like, if you're a vegetarian because you don't like meat, it's very sad, because it's good products that they make, but a lot of the products they make is meat imitations. Like, they are trying to copy meat, and that's great for people that like meat and like the flavor of meat. But when you don't, you want to eat vegetables and you're happy eating beans. So this pie is like a really hearty, warm, filling meal that you're so happy, because you feel like you're eating real food, which is very rare, because when you go out to eat as a vegetarian, most restaurants haven't thought of you. You're just like, you have one option on the menu, and very often that's not a very well put together meal. So it's just nice to have something that's cooked for you. I put in all the onions and then forgot about them and burned them a little bit, but I saved it. So I poured in some water to help stop the process. I'm gonna pour in a little bit more just to get them nice and soft. And another trick is to salt them, because that draws out some moisture, I guess. And that will help make them more soft. But it's all good. It's just going in the pie. I'm not sweating it. I will wait with the garlic. Instead, I'm gonna open up all these beans and then drain them. I have 2 cans of black beans. Here are some black beans. This is more black beans. Like, this really is a bean pie. It's full of beans. I have some kidney beans. And then I have some big white beans. And then I have some mixed beans. There's some chickpeas in there. The recipe doesn't call for that, but this recipe is just like take what you have recipe. This is very important in this dish, the Heinz beans, because it will, I don't know, it will give it the right flavor. So the onion is now sauteing here a little bit. It's still wet because I put a little bit too much water. I'm gonna go ahead and here it is. I'm gonna go ahead and just put the garlic in there. Just gonna press it in there. You want a lot of garlic in this dish. It's very good. The beans themselves, they do not have a lot of flavor, obviously. They are just filling. So you want to season it a lot with fresh herbs like basil, whatever you like Italian herbs, rosemary, thyme, salt, pepper. We're gonna put a little bit of ketchup in here too, and I'm gonna try to make it not so spicy. I have a tendency to put chili in everything, and I don't even like chili that much, but I don't know what I put. I want a little bit of heat, but sometimes I overdo it. So right now I am trying to go back to basic and have very basic, tasteless. It's not tasteless, but it's not so overpowering, because normally I eat this for lunch, and then again, like, you get tired of it. You don't want to get tired of it. I'm gonna make so much that this will freeze, or hopefully I will get so much that we have some to freeze. Maybe I should cook the other pie crust that I made and freeze ready pies. We will see. I'm doing this filling, and then we'll see how much it is. I'm just gonna wash my hands quick here. I didn't take out that much beans, so I don't know. We'll see. See how mushy the onion is? That's fine, because it's going in this stew. It has nice color, started to caramelize a little bit. So, and it's very soft. So, it doesn't really matter. So, I'm gonna put in, I think I'm gonna put in the, we're gonna open these cans of beans. This thing is just falling over. Good. There, and then as you see, there is not plenty of sauce in here whatsoever, but that's okay because we're gonna put crushed tomatoes in here. Oi, throwing beans around. And ketchup and stuff. So let's do that. We add ketchup because that adds a lot of sweetness to the dish. And you see I'm putting a lot, but you need that to kind of balance it out. And here you see now we're starting to get a good texture here of the filling. Maybe it's a little on the loose side. If it is, you can just put in more beans, and that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to see what I have, and I'm going to put in some more beans. And then I'm gonna, let's go over here and see what we have. And it doesn't really matter what you put in there. I see some black beans. Look, I have more. I don't want to put more of the Heinz. That's a lot of crushed tomatoes. We have some, I think we can go with these 3. Let me see. There. Turning up the heat a little bit. See? This looks good. I'm happy with this. And then we are just gonna season this. I'm gonna put a lot of salt. It needs a lot of salt. It's a big batch, remember that. And then I'm gonna take out all the seasonings we're gonna put in there. I have some rosemary here. Something like that. Rosemary. Shake. This is basil. Put a lot of that. This is oregano. Put some of that as well. I'm gonna put a little bit, like I said, of these chili flakes. Not so much more than that. I don't have thyme because I'm out of that. I always put a little bit of turmeric where I can. Here as well. You want to stir it so it doesn't stick at the bottom. And then I'm gonna put some of my bouillon powder just to get some extra flavor in there. Then we'll stir this. And this really just needs to heat up. It doesn't need to cook or anything because all the beans are already cooked. So this just needs to heat up and have a good flavor profile. And the flavor, you need a lot of spices. Because remember, when you make a pie, you also have the cheese and then the crust that will take down the flavor. So you want it in the pot to taste a little bit too much for it to be good in the pie. So you need to over season it here. I'm gonna give this a taste test. Of course, all the flavors haven't come together yet. It doesn't need salt, it doesn't need ketchup. It's a little bit bland, but that's also what I'm going for. I'm gonna let this cook and hopefully all the flavors will come together a little bit. And in the meantime, I should have turned on the oven already. 225 Celsius. I'm gonna pre-cook the crust that we have in the fridge. So I'm just gonna wait for the oven to heat up and then cook the pie crust for like 10 minutes. I'm gonna put a timer for 10 minutes on my watch here. Sometimes it doesn't want to move. I'm gonna put it on my phone then. It's a little bit annoying with the touch screens sometimes. 10-minute timer. And then after that goes in, putting this in, we're gonna check on our bean filling that I forgot. You can come check it out with me here. The liquid it's a little bit stuck to the bottom, but I can feel that it's not burned or anything. It's a little on the loose side, so I'm gonna let it cook on here without the lid to get all this liquid out. Hopefully it will be quick. And then when the pie crust comes out of the oven, we're just gonna put some filling in, top it with cheese, and then put it back in until it's golden and crispy. The pie crust it has been in there for 10 minutes now. We're gonna take that out. And you just want to cook it a little bit. You don't want it to brown. That's not what you want. So I'm gonna put in this and then put a timer on for that as well. As you can see now, the filling is a little bit thicker and nicer. This will be very, very good in the pie. Now I'm just gonna scoop some of this hot filling in the crust. Yeah, I made a lot of filling. I always do. Now the question is, should I cook another pie or just let this cool and freeze it. That is the question. That is enough filling there. And as you can see, I have filling for one more pie in here. One more of these big pies. So this is just normal, the cheese that we call household cheese. It's like a mild cheese that it has good melting properties and it will brown nicely. It's good to have on the sandwich, but it's also good to cook with. And this is, as you can see, frozen cheese that I have shredded myself, but it will, you see it's already starting to melt here with the hot filling, and then when it gets in the hot oven it will melt. Like, frozen cheese is amazing. I love it. I love having it pre-shredded. Like, see, now I don't need to shred any or cut it or whatever. Just take it out and put some on here. I like a lot of cheese. The cheese crust is the best with the pie. I did two things. One, I'm gonna make up the other pies. Since I have so much filling, I brought out those two pie forms, and I'm gonna take out the dough from the freezer and cook them up. Anna has some space in her freezer, so we will just have prepped lunches. It's amazing to have and just microwave. Also, I'm sitting down here because I am looking at the chips, which are starting to look cooked. I think we are gonna take them. They're a little on the under, like, okay, that's probably because I'm used to it being burnt. And then I'm gonna put this in here. Oh, it's heavy. There. That's what happens when you do things with one hand. But the pie is in. Look. How good does that look? Amazing is the right answer. Because it is. Now I'm just gonna make a green salad to go with the bean pie. So you're just gonna see me prep the salad here. are finally done with today's meal prep. We got so much done. I didn't make the big salad that I wanted to, but I made this one. I'm gonna make the salad this weekend. But we have 3 bean pies. This is a normal pie form. So you can see this one is huge. This is times 1.5. A smaller one, the pita chips. And then we have 12 bean and cheese burritos that I'm gonna put in the freezer. And we got a little bit of beans left over. But so this is a lunch prep that we will take to work and eat for lunch. So because this pie freezes beautifully. So if you haven't tried it, I really recommend you try it. It's a new vegetarian dish. It's not new for us, but I have never seen it out there. So today was a great day. I'm very happy that I pushed through and got everything done, even though now I'm actually exhausted. So now we're gonna sit down and eat a little bit of this pie. And I just wanna say thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Remove the chips. Review.
I'm just eating the salad and that's good. So, okay, try the pie. Smells good. This is good. This is really good. This is like, you can taste the herbs and like it's a little bit tomatoey, but not too much. It's kind of fresh. The salt levels are really good, and the crust is good. And this was one of the best ones in a while, because I usually complain about the onions, but this isn't oniony, and so I'm really happy about that.